Harry and Meghan, will or won't they come to dominate the agenda before the coronation. This is not about them anymore. It's about this amazing event that the whole world's going to watch. They don't want all this, where we want an apology, because they won't get an apology. They don't reply by their RSVP, they won't be coming.
But Arthur, they were given this house by the Queen as a wedding gift. It's now being taken away from them. It leaves them without a UK residence. Easy as they've said, very final, and as if they want to cut them out forever.
Well, it looks that way, doesn't it? But I mean, there's plenty of room at Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle where they could stay. That's not the problem. The problem is that they're annoyed that finally the king has hit back. He's not going to stand it anymore. Harry's screaming at him down the phone. He doesn't want that anymore. He's tried very hard. In his speech to the nation, he welcomed them. He wanted them to come. He would love his son back here. Of course he would. But he's not going to take this tantrums and I think Harry will come. I don't think Meghan will come though. I think she'll stay back. I think she'll decide to leave it alone. But that's my view. But I think they do not want. I know they just desperately do not want this whole thing to start dominating this event.
We keep being told the invites haven't gone out. But we're getting quite close now. We're under 100 days. People
got to
want
book
to
their
know.
flights.
They've got to book their flights.
Book their hotels.
Exactly.
Charles doesn't want to look petty. He doesn't want to look like someone who's banning his son from coming because of a book or a TV show. He wants to rise above that, and I think he's in charge. He's going to be in charge of the family invites. But I don't think Charles wants to look like he's being petty. But William, I mean, we know he hasn't spoke to his brother for months and months and months. I don't think he'll be massively keen for him. But remember, Harry came back for his grandfather's funeral just days, months or weeks after the Oprah interview. He came back, he did that. He's come back for the funeral.
Platinum
Jubilee.
And his mother's unvailing of her statue with William.
And that was Lilibet's birthday that weekend. So I'm not a betting man, but I could see him coming.
Rob, will he come?
No.
He will be there, and the other people who really want him to be there are, of course, the tabloid press. More clear.
Will Meghan be there as well then? Will Meghan be there?
I think if Harry comes, Meghan will come too.
I mean, I think from most people's point of view, the British public I'm talking about, and probably the world, anybody who's a fan of the royal family or a fan of Harry and Meghan would like to see.
At least he could get it all in, Daisy. Then he could get it all in, the backstories, in the paperback version. Couldn't
he? He could do the chapter. The next
true writer.
I mean, the big question outstanding is Harry and Meghan. Are they going to come? Will there be some kind of reconciliation beforehand?
That is a big question, isn't it? I maintain, and I've said this before, I do think that King Charles will invite them. And I do think that they will attend because Harry has talked repeatedly about his wants for a reconciliation. Now, I don't think that will happen over the course of that weekend because it's not about that right now. But I think by them attending, that is the first step on the road to reconciliation. Now, we do know that it is Archie's birthday on that Saturday.
Could that be used as an excuse?
And I think lots of people will see that as a reason for them not to come. But I do think that he will want to be there for this incredibly important event in his father's life. You know, he said...
In history.
Exactly. He wants his brother back. He wants his father back. This is part of that. And I think it's a step on the road to reconciliation. But actually, I think the most important question is, will the Spice Girls reunite and perform?
That is the big question.
That is the big question.
I think it's a very sensible, actually, power play. If you take a step backwards, all the power has been with Harry and Meghan. You know, they've been making all these accusations, saying everything, knowing that the royal family aren't going to be able to answer back. King Charles has taken back control and he said, actually, I'm in charge here, taking away Frogmore Cottage. And I'm going to invite you to the coronation. If you want to come or you don't want to come, that's fine. But I'm in charge. And I think it weakens Harry and Meghan because actually if they don't come to the coronation, they don't re-burnish their royal brand. What does that then give them, trying to make money in LA?
You have to sort of think, given what's happened in the past, or what we've learned really in the past 6 months about the nature of the relationship Harry has, is that probably the best time to find out whether he's coming or not will be the morning itself. I mean, it's that much, whichever way the wind blows. I'm fairly confident Harry will be invited from a father to a son.
Yeah, it would look churlish, really, not to invite him to that particular moment.
It's a pretty big moment, and of course, if Harry isn't invited, full stop,
well, that's a statement. I'm king now, and you are no longer part of my kingdom in any shape or form. And that's just not the mood music that we're getting. Whether Harry accepts the invitation or not, as I say, I think that's probably down to let's see 24 hours before the event.
The optics don't look great because, again, it looks wasteful. The whole point now, the king has made it quite clear he wants a slimmed down, fit for purpose monarchy. That's his whole mantra, and we can see what he's trying to do. And to have a cottage sitting empty, will it be occasionally visited by Harry and Meghan, who clearly don't want to be here? They've made it quite clear they don't like the institution. They want to bond again with their families, but I think the bridges have been well and truly burnt. And I can see what the king's trying to do, make it a monarchy fit for purpose. And having a 30-room house that with the Duke of York sitting in, well, that seems pointless. Why not move him in there and then we can control him? But those are that we come back to, they're still the two sort of cankers within the royal household that the king is desperate to get sorted out, and then he can move on with confidence.
It has emerged this week that the Sussexes have been invited to the coronation. A spokesperson for the couple confirmed there had been email correspondence with the palace, but they declined to say whether they'd be coming or not. I mean, it's something we've been discussing on the show a lot over the past few weeks. Christine, what's the US perspective on this? Do people care whether they come or not? Do they want to see them at the coronation?
I think they really only care if they come. Again, Americans love that royal fairy tale. They would really like to see the Duke and Duchess of Sussex living their best royal-ish lives, if they will. I think a lot of Americans want to see them succeed, although there's a lot that, feel differently. But Americans only care if they go and they have this grand, very regal experience. I think it would be absolutely in their best interest as they do this maneuvering, as they try to improve their brand, to attend in the best way possible. But that's a lot of family drama to work past.
Yeah, there is an awful lot to work through in, less than 2 months now.
And let's not kid ourselves, it'll be a huge distraction if they do come, because the global media will have all the attention on them, and I think that's a huge concern for the family and the courtiers, because there's a lot of planning. There's kings and queens coming from foreign lands, and yet we'll still be talking about the Sussexes, but we'll find out when we find out, I suppose, because as I understand it, they still haven't made a decision, and whether there's some horse trading going on in the background, I think that's probably a fair bet.